Charlie Rose was a disgraced. You know what? I actually really miss that show. I used to love Charlie Rose
because
they had like,
though, right?
Yeah, he had like in-depth political conversation.
How old are you, 6?
No, he's had a show on PBS at midnight for fucking 30 years.
I just remember we didn't have cable. We had Peasant Vision at my house. We never had the American channels.
You didn't need them.
Yeah.
Although PBS is Peasant Vision. PBS is like
American Peasant Vision.
American
PBS
Peasant Vision, but it still comes up through the Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Calgary, Edmonton. You fucking idiot!
I always wanted to visit Spokane or Coeur d'Alene.
I always wanted to go to Coeur d'Alene. I used to think, why can't I go to Coeur d'Alene?
When my mom asked, she's like, "Do you want to go to Hawaii?" No, Mom, I want to go to Coeur d'Alene.
You want to go to fucking Coeur d'Alene? Yeah, it's
wait.
Look.
Was Coeur d'Alene and Spokane different cities?
Because it's COVID.
Are they different cities?
They're different cities, bitch.
Oh, I wonder if there's a Coeur d'Alene Spokane rivalry.
There probably is.
Like how Calgary
if you did
and
a gig in Coeur d'Alene, you could say those bitches in Spokane last night didn't even know what I was saying when I talked about Madeleine Albright or something smart that a girl would say. No. But we're doing social distancing, aren't we?
We are at a social distance. I'm sure there's someone that's going to be mad about this. I don't know. But we are far apart. I put my sweater over my face for some of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to... I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of... This
the ticker?
I never thought I was going to live to see Bleach make a comeback. Like, when my financial advisor told me to go heavy into Clorox, I told him to go fuck himself.
You idiot.
And now here I am.
You idiot.
But my financial advisor, Kent Tilley at K4 Financial,
he's not even sponsoring us.
He told me, you go deep into Clorox. I see them having a big 2020.
Go deep into Clorox.
That's what he said.
Hey, let it burn your skin off a little bit.
He told me to put all my money into bleach. I said,
but that's just a smart move on Kent's part, because that is of course we're going to have a pandemic. Look how many people live on this planet.
Well, bleach is going to come back. That is what's kind of funny about it is we're blaming bats and shit, and it's like,
no, it's humans.
Well, we're the one. There's nowhere for them to live. Yeah. That's why my idea: take every animal, move them to, as the climate warms, which, as it should. Jesus wants it to. The climate warms, Antarctica becomes livable. We take a big Noah's cruise ship filled with animals, and they live in Antarctica, away from us.
In peace and harmony.
Yeah, and so we don't have any dumb viruses that can kill us. Because humans are tough.
Humans will create their own self-virus.
There's a lot of bros out...
Viruses aren't all from animals.
I think there's probably a lot of bros that hate this because they're like, virus, show your face and I'll fucking punch you. The virus is a fucking coward. Too small to be seen by my fist. If this virus was 6 feet tall, I'd fucking punch it so hard.
And this guy is 5'2". That's the best part.
There's always been a bunch of tough guys that got killed by viruses that were just like, show your face. I'll fucking destroy you. I'll put this fucking cell into a headlock. But no, they're killing us all. Who knows? What was there last week?
It was like 100,000 at some point.
I think we're up to 420, 420,000.
Steer it up, little.
Go for a COVID.
That's the only reggae song that came to my head.
That's the only one you know.
That's the only one I know. Yeah, I think that we're up to
400 and something, 420 something or other. But yeah, animals, we need to move them. That's what I'm thinking. Get rid of them.
Much. I feel like a user.
No, and we started promoting the podcast for the first time.
We did,
which is pretty funny.
Always fun.
It's really funny.
Sean is so funny because I think we got almost 100 new likes on our page, but Sean picks out the 2 dickheads that comment. One lady commented an angry bird going smacking its head, don't touch your face, but smacking its head,
which is vague but negative.
It looked negative, but she could have been mistaken. Who knows?
But
then there was another guy.
There was another guy that said
hashtag lame.
Yeah.
Hashtag lame. That just makes you so cool, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And we looked at his profile.
It sounds like you're the one who's angry about this.
I'm very not.
What I was thinking is, I'm just like, this is hilarious because the best analogy I could come up with. Because it's like if you're a woman in your 50s and you make really nice muffins and you have visitors over all the time and you give them your muffins, and people go, oh, these are fucking good muffins. But it's all just people right? So that's like our podcast. Right now, the only people that watch it.
Oh, you're right. We have an onslaught of bad reviews coming in soon.
There's people that are like, we like your muffins because they already know you. They're at your house. True. They fucking helped you move a couple times.
Yeah.
So they're all listening. They're like, oh, even if I say something totally not funny, which happens a lot, or they're going to be like, he's normally good.
We usually get
it.
But
if all of a sudden, it's like that lady with the muffins in her little house said, you know what? I'm taking these muffins to the West Edmonton Mall food court by the Galaxyland. And all of a sudden she had to sit in the fucking food court kiosk next to the Galaxyland and watch everybody stroll by her
delicious muffins.
Go right to KFC. She's bookended by a KFC and an A&W. Just getting fucking slaughtered.
She just watches Taco Time across the way and cries.
And all she can do is look at people in the lineup for A&W and KFC and say, do you want to try this muffin? And then once in a while, somebody will come out of the KFC line, take a bite, and spit it in her fucking face.
Muffins are so 80s.
Say, this is gross. That's what we've done right now. People can go listen to Joe Rogan or Bill Burr.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, listen to us too.
Oh, I know. It's so
then they take a bite of this pod muffin. And they're like,
I think that's why so many comics have podcasts, because at least our friends listen. And they so we're always like, well, we got 100 listens this week, and we're like, that's actually in the grand scheme of things horrifyingly bad. But we're like, we thought we'd get 10.
My children never listen to me.
Your children listen to this?
They don't listen to this.
Oh.
No, they don't fucking care what I do.
No, well, how do you know they're not secretly listening to you?
They don't give a shit.
How do you know?
I don't know.
Did your parents know? I was always like, because I would always listen to the Sunday Night Sex Show in my room with my headphones on.
Are you kidding?
Under a blanket.
Come on.
And always
Sue Johansson was not for you to watch the whole fucking show.
I would listen to it on Power 92.
You would listen to an entire program.
Yes, under my blanket with headphones on, because I didn't want my parents to know I was listening to the Sunday Night Sex Show.
You weren't watching pornography? You were listening to an old woman speak of it?
Yeah, because...
What the fuck is the matter with you?
An old woman speak of
it?
I
was just... when I became interested in sex, I watched two people do it and masturbated. I didn't go, hey, is there an old woman that can...
I was in grade 7.
Yeah, but you should...
I never watched porn until my high school ski trip.
You were watching Sue Johansson in grade 7?
Yeah. Oh, my God,
What the fuck? That's way too early.
No, it's not.
Oh my God, that's super early to be interested in in an adult perspective on intercourse.
Because she answered
every
questions.
Adult when you're a child,
maybe grade 9, I don't know.
But even a girl in grade 9 should see a 73-year-old woman speaking about fellatio and change the channel.
No, we laugh and we're like, what?
Were you watching it with other people?
Sometimes I'd listen to it with Jana. We'd quietly listen to it.
Power 92.
Power 92.
Oh my God. You're a pretty fucked up lady.
I am well, no, I'm not. I don't think that's too young. I don't know.
It's way too young to learn about sex.
We started doing sex ed in grade 4.
Listen, you just lost your innocence way too early, because she was on there. You shouldn't have. You should have been living in a world where AIDS didn't exist. You know, you should have been living in a world where syphilis wasn't real.
That's the worst way to
you
learn
learned about
sex.
STI before you even jerked anybody off in a car. You already knew that you could get chlamydia from this.
Yeah,
that's too early to learn that. You're supposed to get the STI first and then go, okay, I'm going to shape up now.
Oh, you're like a learn from experience.
Yeah.
Guy. You're like
you lost your innocence.
Every
sexual experience you ever had, you had to think, oh my God, I could die from AIDS.
I never thought that.
No?
No. Never crossed my mind.
Really? Come on. You never slept with guys that looked like they might have had AIDS?
Oh, because I don't like thin men.
Oh, that's hilarious. You're genetically predisposed to liking fat guys because you know they can't die that soon. Right. They're going to die eventually.
On the other end,
but you
can't go really big. You can go middle of the road.
A thin man could die tomorrow. A fat man has 6 months.
6 months. Or tomorrow. Who knows?
Heart attack, massive. Yeah. You don't know, but I wouldn't. Know. I mean, but you don't like thin men.
I'm not into them.
No,
it's just not attractive to me.
Is it like you look at him and you're like, he's gonna judge me, or like?
Well, that part, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, I look just gross, but then sometimes I'm just literally not into like a super skinny dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think for men, it's more like if there's like a woman who's in fantastic shape who's interested in having sex with me, I have to be thinking, what are the underlying conditions here?
Oh, she's got problems.
She's schizophrenic.
She's schizophrenic.
She absolutely is
an
off-med schizophrenic.
So she inherited daddy issue schizophrenia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the best.
So she's got daddy issue schizophrenia. Some of those voices in her head don't belong to me. So no, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Don't have sex with anybody, especially during a corona pandemic.
Yeah, don't do that.
Good point. Great point.
I still am waiting for like to see like so and so is consciously uncoupled in their 1-bedroom apartment. It's gonna be rough.
I don't know if we're gonna. What do you like? Are you having more sex during the coronavirus?
No. I don't think so.
Just staying steady.
Steady as the
3
rabbit.
times a day, like eating food. Sometimes I snack, but it's not cheating. I don't even know, like, because I was talking to somebody about this, like whether or not like the coronavirus will change our behavior long term, but it doesn't. Like humans, we forget, like we're programmed to forget quick.
Oh yeah, like 9/11.
That's why there's so many of us. 9/11
happened, we're like, we're never gonna forget like 9/11. But that's the thing. Remember, everyone was like, we're never gonna be alive again. We're blah 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 blah. And then we literally didn't. 5 years later, it was like around the time that it happened. Everyone's like, don't forget, guys. It's just to remind us that it happened. But
and because this isn't a big event, it's not one of those like, where were you when? Like, you know, on a lot of those events, you're like, oh, I remember where I was when JFK got shot. Yeah. I remember. Like where with coronavirus, it's so all over the place that it's like it'll basically come down to where were you when you found out that
probably when you first something significant happened, like
the
I
NBA
found out
shutting
last
down
Monday that I was getting laid off from everything.
Yeah, so girls care about jobs and guys care about sports.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like when the NBA and the NHL shut down. That's when I was like, holy shit! Like something is going on.
Yeah.
They would
never do that.
No, and even when sports do come back, because they'll be clamoring to come back.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna, and especially when you consider like they're gonna want to have if you can start 2 weeks or a week before your competitors.
Yeah.
Like if the NHL comes back online a week before the NBA and Premiership and all that shit or whatever, they're gonna have so many fucking eyeballs on them.
Yeah.
So everybody's pushing to get back and play,
So
but they're gonna
dance their best.
But they're gonna have to play without fans. There'll be no fans.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is going to be weird.
They're going to come back without fans?
I think, yeah, that's probably what it'll look like for at least a while. Because they're going to want to play. Like,
it's so weird. So you know how after like 9/11, we all the secure. But I'm trying to compare that because those are the last 2 significant things that I can think of.
Yeah.
So when 9/11 happened, everything that changed was like borders and like airport security, and people were being more racist to people with beards. Yes. But it was like those were the things that what do you think is going to change after this one?
I don't know.
Hygiene or just like, do you think that we're not going to have big concerts? And someone said we're never going to have giant concerts ever again. I'm like, ever again?
No, we will. Like we'll go right back. People will bounce back immediately.
Yeah.
Because we're social animals and we have no memory. Like that's
we're like goldfish.
That's why there's 7.5 billion of us.
It's true.
If we dwelled on shit, like if when we were monkeys, we started crying every time all our bananas fell out of the tree, like we'd still be fucking in the trees. The reason we're down here is because we're like, hey, green, hey, my mom's dead, brutal. And then 2 weeks later, let's fuck. You know what I mean?
Who are you asking to fuck?
Like, I'm just saying, like, if humans were the type of animal that would grieve for a year before they were interested in the opposite sex, you know what I mean? Like, we're the kind of people that can be like, my mom and dad got shot. Fuck is the assailant hot?
Who killed Batman's parents? Who was the person?
You're not allowed to talk about Batman on this podcast due to the coronavirus. Batman is taking some heat on this.
Remember when they changed French fries to freedom fries?
What's Batman going to be now?
What's Batman going to be now?
We can't keep calling him Batman after what bats did to us.
Let's call him Koala Man. All the poor koalas that just passed away last year.
I mean, he could be Trans Man. You know what I mean? Let's get progressive with it. Like, what? I don't know what we're going to do with that name.
Do not speak the name Batman in front of me ever again.
He's
a bad man killed my father.
A bat bit a thing, and then a lot of things happened. But you don't have to worry. Like, this virus isn't going to jump from like animal to human to goddess.
Oh, thank you, Sean.
Boom. And that's your coronavirus pickup line. Well, you don't have anything to worry about, Hottie, because this is not going to mutate 3 times into the deity form. Gross.
Okay.
I think even cheating during this is okay. You know what I mean? I think cheating during the coronavirus, when you don't know what's going to happen, right?
You have no idea.
We could all get it and die. I think you just got to say, you know what? Let's do this. Everybody's open.
If everybody opened up, then that'd be me.
During a pandemic?
I can't say this.
That's why you can't be monogamous during a pandemic. You know, you can't be expected to play nice during that time.
I'm just going to have my friend over. You just watch a movie in the living room. Is that what you're talking?
Yeah, go into the bathroom and do it.
Well, how are you going to cheat on somebody if you can't leave your house?
Well, you're not going to do it legally. Right? You're just gonna have to leave.
You're just gonna have to leave.
Have you been shamed yet for anything that you've been doing that's social?
I don't think so. I feel like someone's gonna shame us for being 6 feet apart in person, but
I don't know. I mean, who knows?
I don't know either.
I haven't really been. I've felt weird. Like
You always think you have it.
Lining up and to get into Home Depot makes you wonder whether you need that chandelier.
That's true. How long did you have to wait in line at Home Depot?
Half an hour.
What?
Yeah, because you had to be 6 feet apart. And you were waiting outside, and then everybody had the same, like the joke that's going to get old the fastest is social distancing, right? Everybody's already at maximum capacity.
You know which joke I think is going to be?
And I keep telling it. Everywhere I go, I'm doing a social distancing routine that I know it's hack.
There's going to be someone.
I can't stop myself from doing it.
There's going to be someone that has a social distancing rape joke out there. I guarantee you there is going to be someone.
Well, that's never okay. And I've never laughed at one of those. I just don't see how they're funny.
That's the weird thing, though. Like, if we're shut up for like 6 months or something, like, all these jokes, they're never going to be able to be told on stage because they're going to be so old by the time, half the country's dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and especially since Trump wants to get everybody back to work in 10 days or something. Like,
get back there.
It's fucking hilarious. Like,
did you see that?
You just can't. I mean, a guy who's imagine if all of your best friends were CEOs. And like those are the people that you were texting and calling. Like, yeah. Of course they're calling. If you're the president, they're calling you and going like, we got to get back at it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, this could cost a lot of lives. But I mean, now the whispers are like, now you actually get to see what it means to truly be a conservative.
Yeah.
Which means, yes, we are willing to sacrifice human life for the economy to be functional and operational again. This is more important than human beings, especially when you consider those human beings were already kind of used up.
It's true, though. I saw somebody on Twitter say, like, instead of bailing out all these companies afterwards, why don't you just pay off all our debt and then we can spend money again? I'm like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, people are going to love that one. Like, just pay off my Visa.
No, just wipe out everyone's debt.
Can you
imagine
Trump?
What would if you woke up and they said, okay, mortgages, car loans, credit cards, day cards, whatever, like
Bay cards, Club Zellers, Club Z.
Club Z.
I fucking hate all cards. I'm not even lying to you.
I remember like why I had to when I worked at that call center for Neiman Marcus. At the end of every call, you had to offer the credit card for Neiman Marcus.
Who in the fuck wants a Neiman Marcus credit card?
Somebody who's rich that wants to. Oops! I have a Neiman Marcus credit card.
Oops!
It fell out.
My titties fell down.
No, there's so many different. I think you could get a credit card almost anywhere from anyone. But this thing just wipe it all out and let us thrive for a while.
I don't know.
What would you do though? Oh my God! If you woke up and you're like, I have no debt, this is fucking amazing.
I think it's going to be over. I think this whole coronavirus thing is just going to be over soon. We're just going to start killing people, right? That's what. No, seriously, we're just going to. Because there's only so long that humans can listen to scientists.
They're already kind of doing this in Italy. They're saying if you're over 65, you don't get a ventilator.
Really?
They're like saying we just can't. Like.
I mean, I would have done that before, but. If you're over 65 and you can't breathe on your own,
but that's
fucking fill your lungs in heaven, my friend.
All the things that you're seeing are all these people like, stay home because my grandma depends on it or something. I'm like, yes, your grandma.
Yeah. Your fucking demented grandma.
My mother.
I don't remember where I left my shoes or your name. We've got to keep her alive. We've got to keep her alive. Don't you dare give Nana the coronavirus.
My brother's like, go visit grandma. And I was like, go visit grandma. We're not supposed to visit these
That's
places
what we're
now.
that's what if they're that's what the planet wants us to do.
Have you seen
the planet is saying go give your dad a hug. Go give your grandma a hug.
Oh, I was at Costco today, and the lady that checked me out, she was very nice. And at the beginning,
was she checking you out physically, or
yeah, she was giving me the old she was giving me the old Costco up and down.
Mm-hmm. What's your co-op number 4? Because you're old.
So anyway, so she 4.
You're not old.
She was like, oh, I like, because I said something, I'm like, I hope people are being nice to you, and they're like, yeah, for the most part. I'm like, they're like, yeah, we're doing our best. It's a little slower. I'm like, yeah, but where's anybody have to go? Like, she was like, I never thought of that. I'm like, you never thought of that?
I went to co-op yesterday at Fort Saskatchewan, and they had a giant shield. Like a giant plexiglass.
Around the thing.
And
they
then
all do.
When I was there, I was just like, is there a lot of spitting? And he's like, what? Because you can't hear. And I was like, this is the best. That's the worst part of this, is it's changed my life for the better in every way. And I feel
you're living your best life.
I'm living my best life.
Sean is thriving at this time.
I'm doing so good.
This is like, I talked to other comics about this, and we've all been like, of anybody, the people most well equipped to deal with being alone are comics. Like,
I feel terrible that this disease exists, and I feel terrible for the people that are suffering and dying from it.
Yeah.
But in terms of how it's affected my life, it's like
feel
I'm
guilty.
back in grade 8.
I don't feel guilty for watching Netflix all day anymore.
I'm in grade 8 with money.
I'm doing my part by watching Netflix all day.
Yeah, I watch a movie with my kids
It's amazing.
In the evening, I watch a superhero movie with my younger son.
Not Batman.
And then not Batman. And not after what they did to us. Bring down Batman. He never had any powers anyway. He was just rich.
This is my favorite COVID bit of all. Because it's so non-COVID. It's so subtle.
Not even. Yeah, and then we'll fucking
subtle.
we'll Google it and see 9 podcasts. Oh, for sure. Bill Burr talked about it for half an hour, just like fucking Batman. No, but you don't. That's the thing about not exposing yourself to anything, is you don't even know your hack, right? That's just true. Don't Google anything.
Oh, Tyler Morrison wrote today on like, it's like you're finding out a lot of comedians aren't actually funny. Like he tweets that.
Oh, it took this?
I
knew.
No, but like these people are finding out they're not funny because they're like writing stuff out that's so good, and then everyone's like crickets.
Yeah. Live streaming it, you know what I mean?
I just crazy.
I think we're fucked because we can only listen to scientists for about a week before we say shut the fuck up.
Give us the antidote.
That's why climate change has there is no chance. Like when you look at how we've responded to coronavirus, there is a 0% chance that we deal with climate change. Yeah. 0. Like when people are actually dying of a virus, we're still thinking like, I mean, come on, let's just keep going. Like that's with people dying. Like imagine you're trying to there's a crisis that's going to happen in 100 years, and you're trying to convince humans to care about something that's beyond like their lifespan. We're never going to we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
We're just not evolved to do that. We're just going to be like, I can't breathe. Like, we're just going to die on top of each other one day.
One day, if we're lucky.
I can't breathe very good here. Is there any place on this planet that's good to still breathe? Oh, yes. North. Like, and then just 9 billion
where
of
the
us.
animals are.
Like, where we took the animals 100 years ago.
And it's still thriving.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good, actually.
The animals are doing great. I started watching something that is the fucking funniest thing ever. There's only one season though.
America's Funniest Home Videos.
No.
Because there's gonna way more than one season.
You idiot. It's called The Other Two, and it's on Crave for Canadians. It's probably it's like a Saturday Night Live produced, and it is so fucking funny. It's about these like 2 siblings, and their younger brother becomes like a Justin Bieber style thing, and he's an actor and she's like an ex-dancer or stuff. So they were trying to make it in the entertainment industry, and then their little brother releases this song called "I Want to Marry You at Recess," and it like blew up, and he becomes. And it's so good. And the guy that plays his manager, Streeter, which is like a Scooter Braun. It's like a
so he became famous, like the kid became
overnight, and then he's like the new Justin Bieber. And it's so fucking funny. It's so funny. But then I was thinking, I'm like, I love how this is like a behind the scenes of like what it's really like for this. Can we have a behind the scenes like fake thing about Greta Thunberg? Like, just, like, have a weird, like, follow her around and see what they actually do behind the scenes. Not for real, but, like, in this show.
It would be amazing to see
just a parody of it. It'd be so fucking hilarious. No, I'm not doing it in a hateful way. I'm just
no. I mean, like, the kind of hatred that she would have to absorb every day, right? Like,
I'm not saying even she's in it. I'm saying just the story of her, you just use that kind of idea, and then you just make your own show about it. That's what they're doing on the other two. It's like he's Justin Bieber. They're just going for like, oh, what would actually happen?
And you could also do it in that vein too of like you could have two adults who've been environmentalists forever.
Yeah.
And they've toured all over the place trying to get people to care about climate change. And their daughter one day goes, I just like trees. And everyone's like, aw. Yeah. And then she's the sensation of the environmental movement.
A funny show.
And you're like, I've been fucking telling you about CO2 since 75. And they're like, get out of the shot, Ron.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
We don't want you in this, Ron. And you're like, but everything she fucking knows, I taught her. Yeah, well, she knows it now, so we don't need you anymore.
I taught her that scowl.
Yeah,
oh, no,
but you can write some shit on the prompter if you want, Ron. God damn it!
I just thought of that. Like, I'm like, that would be such... Because this show is... There's only like 10 episodes. I hope there's... Molly Shannon plays his mom, and she's so fucking funny in it. And, oh, it's so good. I posted up about it on my Insta story, and like 10 people were like, what is this? So I told a bunch of people to watch it. It's you'll get through it in like half a day. It's so good. It's so fucking funny.
Or two anti-vax parents that...
Yeah!
Oh, sure, you don't listen to me, but you listen to this fucking idiot.
But the kid is very sickly.
It's got to be a very weird time to be a conspiracy theorist, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because like this is your moment.
Your brain's
right?
like
9/11 was a big sort of like boom. That was their jumping off point.
Isn't
and then
that what that Mel Gibson movie was about? What was it with Julia Roberts? Wasn't that a conspiracy theory thing?
I don't remember it.
I'm going to look up the name of it. Keep talking. Oh, wow. Jim just looks at me and goes, I think it was called Conspiracy Theory.
Wasn't there a movie that was called The Thing I'm Thinking of? What the fuck was that called?
I want to watch it.
Wasn't there a movie that Tom Hanks was in where they were all splishing and splishing around? What was that one called? Splash. It was Splash.
Splash is on the Disney Channel. So it's called Conspiracy Theory. I got to read out. I want to read out like what IMDb is probably my most used app because I'll go whatever I'm watching. I will go and like look it up because there's like trivia on it, and then it tells you where it was filmed. And I'm an idiot because I don't even watch a movie. I just look at that.
The other thing I want to touch on is there's a lot of talk about like, oh, these guys that were survivalists the whole time, they're fucking ready for this. Like, dude, I could just shoot you.
That's
like,
true.
Who the fuck are you? Like, who are these guys that think like, I've been hoarding things and I've been learning things and I know how to paddle a canoe and I fucking got a bunch of guns. Like, I can still just kill you. Yeah, like, you're not tougher than me. We still have guns. Like, whatever chaos we fall into as a species.
Well, people are thinking
we're all armed.
People are thinking in the terms of like Walking Dead end of the world. Like, it's not zombies, but it could very well be like, The Stand.
Something too small for us to punch like we should be able to, like a pussy virus.
I wish that pussy virus would show its face.
Expand yourself 1,000 times and show. And I'll show you a thing or two.
Somebody get me a microscope.
Get me a microscope.
Get me my microscope.
I'm going to punch these slides.
I'm going to punch these slides.
Oh, boy.
Okay, I'm going to read what conspiracy theory is about. Jerry Fletcher is a man in love with a woman he observes from afar. Ooh. Stalker. She works for the government. Ooh.
Okay.
Fletcher is an outspoken critic of that government. Oh, he hates that government. This is scintillating. He has conspiracy theories for everything, from aliens to political assassinations. But soon, one of his theories finds itself to be accurate.
Aha!
But which one? Some dangerous people want him dead. Oh, shoot, I lost it. And the only person he trusts is the woman he loves, but does not know. He doesn't even know her.
Wow.
I got to go home and watch this.
You can't love somebody you don't know. I actually
My whole life has been loving somebody I don't know.
I actually
every week.
I honestly believe that that's we've actually put a lot, like conspiracy theorists are just wrong about 98% of the shit they're saying.
Except for this one time.
But we, in movies, for how long now have we portrayed conspiracy theorists as the guy who was crazy at the start of the movie and was proven right at the end? So we've done this amazing job of making conspiracy theorists look like they're not crazy by making movie after movie where they're proven right at the end. When the reality is they're never proven right in the real world.
Yeah.
Like the anti-vax people are not proven right, but in a movie about anti-vax, the anti-vax mom would be right.
It's a scene.
Everybody be like, no, you got to get herd immunity, Rita. And she'd be like, I just do what's right for my son. And then at the end of the movie, she's right.
But that's because the same thing with...
We got to stop fucking doing that.
Well, it's the same thing with romance in Hollywood movies. Romance is amazing in Hollywood movies. It's not like the real fucking world.
I know, but we have an expectation of, like, we understand that a romantic movie is like...
Like, this is going to make it look like it was romantic that this man was stalking her. That's what's going to happen when I watch this tonight, because it's only $9.99 on Apple TV, or to rent it's $4.99.
You're not going to do that?
I'm going to go home and watch it because I can't wait. I can't wait to see a movie where it's like this woman is being stalked and doesn't know it, and this like crazy conspiracy theorist falls in love with her and gets her. It's what's going to happen. I've never seen this movie, and then that's my conspiracy theory about it.
And then and then she's physically attracted to him in the beginning, but she's against his ideas because they're so outlandish and unpopular. And then as the movie goes on, she starts to fall for him. And then his ideas start to prove to be correct.
God. And then she's in love with him.
And then she's allowed to love him.
She's allowed to love him. Finally.
I mean, that's what we've done. Stop making movies where the crazy person at the start of the movie make it so that at the start of the movie they're crazy.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie they're even more crazy.
Crazier.
Time hasn't helped them.
I would love to see more movies with not happy endings, with just endings.
Even superhero movies, kids are bored of it. Kids need to see Batman get his fucking head cut off.
Why are we cutting Batman's head off?
Because of what he did to us. The planet.
That Batman.
What are you, crazy? Fucking think of another animal that only murders, and then that's what I was gonna do if I was funny. Is say like there's no fuck. But is there an animal that we're like Wolfman? There could be there's Wolfman Jack.
Yeah,
There's lots of Wolfmen.
There's live Wolfmans.
There's no animal where you're like, oh my god, that animal's insane.
There's guys from Mexico that are the Wolfmen.
Really? Because they have hair on their face. Faces. They're getting fucked a lot.
I bet you they are. I bet you they get laid a lot.
No, they don't. They're married to weirdos. Just like every other hairy Mexican.
Married to a weirdo.
2 fucking Mexicans with hair all over their face.
I bet you their wives are hot.
What do they look like shaved?
I don't know. I don't know.
Here, look at shaved Wolfman.
What does the shaved Wolfman look like? A Wolfman razors.
You know what he should do is like cut a skin beard. You know what I mean? Just where a normal man would have a beard, they have skin. Just as smooth, and then lots of hair on the forehead and eyes.
Oh, that's theological.
What are they called? Are they called the
Wolfmen of Mexico?
The Wolfmen of Mexico.
Werewolf? No, not a werewolf. I don't know, but I bet you they got hot wives.
There's some guys that have it real good. Like there's
you think that like girls are so shallow?
No. I'm not saying girls are.
Because you're always like, whenever it's like not a like hot person, you're like, I bet you their wives are dumb and ugly. Every time. Like there's no way a person that doesn't look quite like a movie star could ever get an attractive woman.
Exactly. They're always stuck with the fucking cardboard only dumpster. No, there's a lot of but I mean I know some guys that have it real good. There's this guy in my town where I live.
Yeah.
His wife makes all the money.
Yeah.
He's just chilling. He gets to chill, and he also doesn't even have to know when the children's activities are.
Why?
He's
a control freak and still does it anyway?
So what a great, so he doesn't work. She works.
Yeah.
And then if the weekend comes and he's like, what are we doing? And she's like, oh, there's a birthday party at fucking 2:30, and then his hockey game's at 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, she still knows all that. So he just
and
like,
that's
all
why
right.
women are superior. Because we could just like work all day and then come back and still run everything. My mom, that was my mom. Definitely my mom. Like, worked all day and then just came out, could do everything.
And that's
drove everyone everywhere.
That's not necessarily like a female or, like more women can multitask. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is selfishness, right? Like, because you are that fucking controlling that you would rather like, I'll do this and I'll do that because then what I say goes.
Micromanaging. That's what it's called.
And I mean, I do that to a certain extent.
Oh, yeah.
Where, like, I'm the one that has the money and I'm the one that like knows when the parties are and shit like that. And it's like, I could just let somebody else do it, right? I could just like, but I don't.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, fucking, I got to do all this shit. And it's like, well, you're the one who's choosing to do it.
Yeah, it's true.
If you just stop doing it, somebody else would have to do it.
Or you just lost the game of, okay, I give up. I'll throw out the garbage. It's just like stuffing it farther down, just like piles of garbage. Fine, I'll take it out, I guess.
And it's fucking, we got lots of, because 7-Eleven dumpsters get a workout. Like, basically that's what's happening.
They throw stuff out all the time.
Because now everybody has a minimum, like a maximum amount of garbage you can throw out.
Really?
Yeah. Like they don't have that program in your, everybody's trash there.
Everyone's trash there. They can't tell if it's trash or a human in my neighborhood.
Everybody looks like they should be in a bag.
Including myself, usually in the morning when I'm walking my
dog.
Put
that bitch in a black bag.
I got my like nasty ass pajama pants on, walking around. If I had a cigarette in my mouth, it would complete the look for sure.
Eugene is smoking crack. Your neighborhood is a bit of a sketch show.
It's a sketch show. It's a fucking sketch show. I hate it.
Sketch show.
I hate it. And we're not supposed to Baroness One sketch show. You're not supposed to like gentrification, but I cannot wait for gentrification to come to my neighborhood.
But what do you do? Then you're just, then you're displacing the bats again, right?
Yeah, displace
them. Those homeless people got to go somewhere.
They'll go somewhere.
They sleep upside down in a cave, right?
That's what they do. Homeless sleep upside down.
Homeless people, because we were talking about that. Homeless people, you're right.
I would like to know if homeless people actually are enjoying themselves right now. Because there's nobody out there. They're not being annoyed. They're just... They can pee freely in the streets because no one's there to watch.
You're not freezing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I wonder if they're having a good week.
I don't know. Like, it seems like it would be cool to be homeless and like not have to worry about people. But it also would be sad.
But lining up to get in a shelter because they can only have 50 people in.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's like Costco.
I know. I saw a story on the Bissell Center about how like they could only let in 50 people at a time, and then this like woman was just like screaming. She was so mad. She's like, "This stupid virus. We used to all be able to get in there real fast." She's so upset, and I was like, then I was like, "Holy shit, my life's easy."
It is a breeze for you.
It's a pretty good breeze.
You just get to walk through it all.
I got my mortgage deferred.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Actually, you know what's funny?
For 6 months.
I have a comedy gig. I actually have a comedy gig.
Called mortgage deferred?
No, it's online. I'm doing an online.
You are not.
I am.
Where?
I've been booked to do an online comedy show.
Woo. You're just going to say your jokes into space?
What else do I do?
Oh my God.
That's what I do every fucking time I tell them.
Everybody's like live stream. I'm like, I'll live stream and just talk and get drunk.
No, it's like
have a show.
Where is it?
Are you getting paid to do it?
Yeah, it's a real gig, a paid gig.
Oh my God. It's starting.
Oh, and
it's
here's
happening. We're
look,
never going to get
holy
to be live
shit.
again.
I've been billed the Facebook ads. What am I doing? Why did I do that? I've spent $30 on Facebook ads. Like I mean, what do you mean worked? Like,
well,
let's
we
say
got
you
like
get
almost 100 new likes.
Yeah, but what is that?
I don't know. It doesn't matter what it is. You have
it's
numbers.
Like it's
they only
like
care about numbers.
Remember when Yucks did the super middle thing?
Super middle.
When people were like, "Oh, now you're a super middle."
Oh, I remember. Yeah, it was like that, or yeah, a super middle.
Facebook likes feel like that. Where
My
you're like,
favorite
I have
is when-
Facebook likes, and it's like, what is that? That's nothing.
I love it when the comics that are like older, I always call it, "Oh, well, I'm a AAA headliner."
I'm a AAA. Oh yeah,
that's my.
Those were the best.
What's gonna be the thing that we say that new comics are like? Listen to these old fucking idiots.
Yeah, what is our
super
thing?
middle?
No, but what's our AAA?
I
right,
don't
because
know.
Comics in Canada that came up in the 80s and 90s.
They did have a rating.
Yucks really was the only game that could be played, and then Yucks had a rating system in lieu of pay. So they
in lieu of pay, here's 3 A's for the beginning of your.
So they would basically, you were like an MC and then a feature or middle act, and then you were a headliner. But once you achieved headliner status, you could also achieve excellent MC status. You could make, that's the one thing.
You could be a AAA MC?
Well, the thing that Yucks always did well, in my opinion, was everybody on the show made a living wage. Mm-hmm. Like, they didn't have a situation that a lot of clubs do.
Back then.
And even now, like, the headliner should make more or whatever, but the MC is going to make a decent amount of money to be on that show. Whereas in a lot of clubs,
they wouldn't make anything.
They're garbage. Yeah. Like, your middles and MCs are garbage. So your headliner is going to eat 90% of the cake, and the first 40 minutes of the show gets virtually nothing. Yeah. $50 or whatever, $25 or nothing at all. Yeah. So Yucks always did a good
That is very true.
They did a good job of that, and they still do. But they had this system of, like, AAA. You could be a AAA headliner, and some comedians used it as like this weird badge of honor. Yeah. Like, anybody in the world knew what the fuck it meant. Yeah. And I remember, like, I would get people that would be like, well, I'm AAA. Like, anything that you said, they'd be like, well, I'm AAA. So you'd be like, hey, can you not shit in my car?
I'm AAA.
And they'd be like, I'm AAA, bitch. I shit where I want. I shit where I eat, and then I get up and you clean it. Do you understand that? Middle act.
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing stories about, like, a BJ Woodbury just yelling what did you call Paul
Opener.
That whole time?
Yeah.
Opener.
Yeah, he needed somebody to pop his shoulder back in. And
that's why I'm like always like whenever people are like, oh, I don't feel safe on the road. I'm like, you never had to sit in that car with BJ Woodbury.
Dude, you'd get treated like the power dynamic in it.
I've had middles and MCs be like, pick me up here.
I know.
I'm not giving you gas. I'm like, whoa.
And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying, like, the power dynamic in stand-up like has shifted big time. It used to be the headliner was the boss. And if you said anything, it was going back to the agent. So you had to really mind your P's and Q's. If they wanted you to drive, you drove. If they wanted to split gas, you split gas. If they wanted to drive back after the gig, you drove. If they wanted to just sleep in your car, like there was a ton of, like, if they wanted you to do extra time or less time.
You know why it was? Because there weren't any spots. So you had to put up with all this bullshit to be part of it. Now there's a million clubs. There's a million alternative rooms. There's all these other things. There's YouTube. There's TikTok. Like, you don't have to just be... Like, anybody can be what they want to be if they declare it.
Yeah, it's all good.
That's literally what it is now.
And I'm for the way that it's progressed because
but
now...
newer comics don't look at, like, us like they look at us like we're shit.
For sure. And, or they would
not
look...
all of them, but, like...
They wouldn't look at us like, if I piss Kathleen
off... You're not
off...
even on Instagram.
They're not going to look at you... Like, it used to be fear, right? Oh, yeah. So, like, nobody's... it used to be like if you were an opener working with Kathleen McGee under the old system, if you didn't like that person or you didn't have a good time with them or they said something weird in the car,
you wouldn't work very much.
You make one phone call and that person gets a year off. Yeah. And that's gone, which is good. Like, it shouldn't have been that way. Yeah. Where headliners could just say whatever the fuck they wanted.
Same with like the light thing. Remember when at Yucks it was like you have like 5 minutes and at 4, but they would cut you fucking off. Or if you went over, you wouldn't get a spot for like a month or 2 months. Because it was because they were literally in Edmonton. There'd be like 4 spots in a whole weekend, and maybe like a couple at open mics that.
Well, they had little arbitrary rules that if you didn't follow, you were off.
Like, I know.
The very first time that I was supposed to perform at Yucks, I think I had like 30 friends in the audience. Yeah. And you had to go to the workshop at 6 p.m. and the workshop ran from like 6 to 7, I think. Yeah. And then from 7 till 7:30, you kind of would go to Sherlock's or something like that. You'd go hang out somewhere. And then at 7:30, you kind of had to come back to register for your spot that you already had booked.
And if you weren't there at 7:30,
and if you weren't there, you lost your spot. Yeah. So I remember the very first time I was doing Yucks, like the manager's name was Jeremy, and I was at the workshop. Like, he saw me physically at the workshop from 6 to 7. Yeah. And then from 7 to 7:30, I went to Sherlock's, and because it was my first time and I was like nervous, I kind of like lost track of time. So I ended up not going back into the club till 7:35. Yeah. And he was like, sorry, man, you're off. And I'm like, well, but I was here for the whole workshop and I have like 30 friends here. And he's like, sorry, man, you're done.
And you didn't get up.
No.
See, that never happens anymore, ever.
No, but then it was like routine where you're like, if you don't follow these rules, you're fucking toast.
I went down to Yucks probably every weekend for 8 months after I started to ask for a spot and just be laughed at or like just be like, no fucking way. And I would ask every weekend. And you know how hard it was to go up and ask every time? I still can't even do it with Dino at the comic strip. But I think I had PTSD from Dino, but we all do. But I think
we all do
because he's terrified all of us.
PTSD, Dino.
But he's like an old school manager. He's from those days where you was actually had to respect some of this shit. But it just doesn't happen. Like
and Dino's just one of those guys where like the only thing that is bad with Dino is silence.
Yeah.
If he's treating you like a piece of shit,
he likes you.
He likes you.
Yeah.
If he's being nice, if he's talking to you nicely, he likes you.
Yeah.
If he's not speaking at all, he fucking hates you. But the problem is Dino will use silence as a weapon, right?
Will.
Because he can be giving you some silent treatment without hating you.
Yeah.
But you think he probably hates me because I know that's what he does. Is he goes quiet.
He's a master.
So sometimes you're like, Dino didn't like. I'll have 2 days, or I'm like, I golf with Dino, like 20 times a year when we golf. Like, and I still would have weeks where I'd go in there and on Wednesday I'm like, are we done? Like, am I not his friend anymore?
But you know what's really nice?
He'd just be sitting there cutting limes and staring at a girl. As he was born to do.
As he was born to do. But you know what's nice? When you actually see real Dino for a second.
Well, because he's a generous and kind-hearted man.
He's the nicest guy ever. Underneath all the scariness.
But
he does that on purpose.
You have to have that.
Because, comics actually, like, respect Dino. They have to because, like, you don't fuck up with this guy. It's the only place for you to get, like, a full weekend in Edmonton. But...
And it's just sort of you don't have to be. You have so many requests coming at you.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what sometimes comedians forget.
Oh, I would hate to be a comedy club manager.
If you put yourself in that position and had like 10 people a day coming into the bar and going, hey, and like pretending that they cared about you and pretending to be nice and like, oh, how's everything with your dog and shit, and you're just like, yeah, like
all the comedy club managers are there's some good ones out. You know what's a good one because they last forever, like Dom in Mississauga Yucks.
Yeah,
he was there forever.
It's guys like Dino that can absorb all of it and go fucking what.
You either have to be like Dino or like Dom is like the happiest, nicest guy, so people are like they actually like him, that like he's a good guy to hang out with, he's fun, so that's why he's so successful as a manager. And then Dino makes people fear him, as they should. Comics need to have a little bit more fear, and this is the problem with comedy right now. And I sound like some old fucking bitch because I am one. But seriously, like even just talking about this now, it drives me fucking nuts. I'll be at a show and like a new comic will walk in 5 minutes before their set. And I'm like, are you fucking... If I was a producer, I would be so fucking pissed. I remember running shows and sitting there. And first of all, you're fucking annoyed because there's nobody in the crowd. And then the one comic that could bring... Like, if you ask like a headliner to come, they're like, yeah, I'll come. And then they don't show up. And I try not to do that ever. Because like, I don't know. Running rooms is horrible because comics are really... They don't have a lot of respect. Sometimes I don't even have a lot for these poor...
The weird thing about stand-up is like it's a business. I mean, I'm sure it's like other businesses, but there's an illusion of status that really, you'll see somebody that's been doing comedy 2 years, and just engaging with them for a minute, you think this person really thinks they're good, like this person already has this sort of like, well. Yeah, I'm fucking better than everybody.
This person was me 2 years in. And then you get realized 5 years in when you keep bombing.
Or even people that don't bomb, whatever, right? Like some of them, comedy is not rocket science. No. You can figure out a way without any talent whatsoever. Like that's why comedy doesn't pay more when comedians are like, why is it pays the same as it did in 1991? Yeah. It's like, because
there's more people that will just do it.
And they can do it. Maybe not as well as you, but
they can do it.
The reasonable facsimile is not. You can't even notice it. It's like a vacuum cleaner. Like I've got an $800 vacuum cleaner, and you've got a $700 vacuum cleaner, and he has a $600. Like you can look at those on a rug. The average person's gonna go, "What the fuck? Yeah, they're clean. My rug's clean. Give me the $600 rug cleaner, whatever the fuck that was. Why would I pay $200 for a thing that looks? It's just as clean as
it's the same. It's the same.
But if you were like a vacuum expert, you'd be like, yeah, look at the sand and Look at the sand in that one. You can see there's a lot of sand left over. It's the same thing as when I renovated a room in my house. Like I had humans over and they were like, that looks good. But then I brought in like people that actually did construction and they were like, ooh, yikes. There's some problems in here. Oh my God. You really struggled with the trim, hey? And I'm like, how did you know that I did? Are you a psychic? They're like, no, I can fucking see 9 splits in it. Because there was like one part of I'm actually decent at home renovations. It just takes me a lot longer to accomplish than it would somebody with a brain.
4 renovations.
Just a brain.
Just a brain at all.
Any brain.
Like I could do it?
You could do it. Like I'll make a cut. Like there was this one, I did some wood paneling and I was like, fuck. Like I had to cut a piece of wood, which never is good. Yeah. Whenever you can put the whole thing up, you're like, look at what I did. When you got to cut it, you're like, I got to cut it.
Measure once, cut twice.
So I cut this one piece and it was like an inch. I was like, fuck, that's an inch too small. There's a bunch of exposed wall behind the panel. Shit, it's an inch too small again.
Okay, go.
So then I took it out and I'm like, okay, I won't make that mistake twice. And then I cut it again 1 inch thicker and it was still the same fucking problem. Oh my God. And I'm like, what part of my brain is missing? That a thing was an inch too small and then I made a thing an inch bigger and then I put the inch bigger thing in and it was still too small. Bingo. Now you can talk about how a girl would say that.
I don't know.
A girl would say all that.
Oh, that inch thing.
Yeah, the inch thing back.
It's a little too small for me.
It's a little too small.
A little too small.
COVID cock.
COVID cock.
Keep that 6 feet out of me.
We can fuck. We got a 6-foot dick.
Oh yeah, the only time
actually,
it's great to have
5. 5 inches in and 6 feet away still.
I'm actually thankful to have a micro penis during times like these.
Why?
Because what if I'm 4 feet away from you, but I'm actually 3 because my dick's huge. You know what I mean? I don't want my dick getting in the way of social distancing.
How many people's dicks are getting in the way of social distancing?
Sorry about that. I just got half hard. I'm going to have to take a step back.
Back up, ma'am.
Back up, ma'am. Back up Slowly. 12 inches. I just got hard.
Back up 12 inches and turn around. Turn around.
Excuse me. I know we're talking about the weather and we're total strangers, but if you could back up 12 inches, because I just got a hard on and that's how huge I am.
Does that happen? Like you're just talking to a stranger about the weather and you get a boner? Not anymore.
It depends on what the weather is and who the stranger is, If she's gross and she's talking about rain, of course you're hard. It's rain. But if it's a sunshiny day and she's a pretty lady, why not?
Why not?
But you're usually not talking about whether to hot people of the opposite sex.
No?
Like, if you're talking to a hot guy, you're not going to waste that opportunity talking about, like, I wonder if the sun, where is that sun? Anyway, bye.
What's the temperature?
What's the temperature?
Sir, do you have the temperature?
Or ask him a question and then answer it like a scientist.
Do
you even know how far away the sun is? And then when he doesn't answer, 93 million miles. And then leave. And then just fucking leave. That's a great way to get over on guys. Ask them a question they don't know the answer to. Just answer it for them and walk away.
I'm gonna start doing that.
That's fucking. You want women? That's real girl power.
That's fun.
Hey, do you know what 43,000 divided by 38,000? And then they go, huh? And then you, boom.
I told you.
Hammer 'em with the numbers and then fucking gone.
I just woman-splained, yeah, bitch.
That's one of my math questions.
I memorized it. I memorized the number.
Here, let's try it. Okay. So 40, think about, you're going to feel so empowered when you do this to me.
Oh my God.
Okay, 42,000 divided by 38,000 equals 1.10526. So just take it to the 6.
Okay. Take it to the 6.
And then you just pretend that I'm a hot guy that you just met on the street.
Oh, this is going to be acting then. Hi, do you know? I don't know what.
Hi. Hey, how you doing?
What's 420 billion divided by 1?
What's 42,000 divided by 38,000?
Okay,
say that part.
Okay. Hi, what's 42,000 divided by 38,000?
I don't know.
1.10526.
Didn't that feel good? To just tell a man what it is?
That felt good, especially because it was math.
Yeah, math and a man. Hit him with science or like, hey, do you know what kind of ask him what kind of drill you should use for a certain thing in your house? And he'll be like, and then in that moment just say, a Dremel 1/4 inch, fuck it. Yeah, and fuck you.
A very manly question.
Yeah, and then you know the answer to it already.
We gotta do that as just like a video for the podcast. I'm just gonna go up to men and do that.
I know. I'm gonna go up to women and ask them cooking questions.
Okay.
Not that all women cook, but I'm saying like some of them take it seriously. So you could be like, hey.
And it's so cute.
Yeah. What kind of pasta do you use? And then when they answer, I go, ew. That's the guy version of that to girls.
Oh my God, I love it.
Hey,
what's your favorite dip?
Here, I'll try it. Okay.
Dips are so important.
Hey, I'm having a dinner party. I was just wondering, what kind of dips do you usually have, Kathleen?
Chicken wing dip.
Ugh.
No one's ever said that about my chicken wing dip. No.
Exactly.
But that's
See,
what
didn't it
happens to
feel
women.
weird? Didn't it feel weird when a guy went, ugh, to your favorite dish?
Every woman has a dip.
Yeah,
every
girl's got a dip.
Oh, every woman has a dip that she can bring to a potluck.
I wonder if do you think every girl's got a dip?
Every girl has got a dip. Absolutely. They bring it and everyone eats it and then it feels good. Did I ever tell you the stew story from, not Stu Hughes, like.
Every girl's got a stew. Mine's Hughes.
I think I've told this story before on here, but it was about the island next called Cortez Island.
Oh,
did I tell you this?
I think you did, yeah.
And the deer fetus.
Oh, deer fetus.
Did I tell you? Oh, I didn't tell it. Okay.
Oh,
so there was
a deer fetus.
Listen.
Ew.
So there were these like hippies on okay, we were at this place and we were high on mushrooms and the mom was with their kids. The kids were also 18, so they were high on mushrooms too. And the mom goes, tell the comics about the time on Cortez Island with those girls that were hiking. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, no, Mom, that's a really sad story. And she was like, no, it's good. It's good. Tell these girls. And she's like, no, I don't want to tell them this story right now. It's sad. And I'm like, well, I want to hear this story.
Yeah.
So then she told us there was like these 2 girls hiking on Cortez Island. It's like a hippie commune island. Like there's no electricity. It's just like people living free. And they were walking in the woods and they found like a dead deer that they had a dead deer fetus because clearly they opened the deer after they hunted it so they were just like, they felt really bad. They're like, that's really sad. That's so they like dug a little grave and they put it in the grave and they just like went back to the community and they told the people the story about what they did. And then this one crazy lady's like, you can't just bury it. You've got to give it a purpose in this world. You can't just. So she figured out where it was. Went and dug up the deer fetus.
She exhumed the body of a deer fetus.
And went home and made stew out of it. Deer fetus stew. Oh, my God. And so that was the reaction. That was such a horrifying story, right?
Purpose? That's the purpose?
Yes, but listen to the rest of the story.
To be dug.
So then like that, it's sad and disgusting, right? And then the girl goes, yeah. And then she took it to the community potluck and nobody ate it. And I like burst out laughing because it went from just like horrifying to the funniest thing I've ever heard.
How did they know it was deer fetus stew?
Because she told them.
Oh, she told them?
Yeah, I made deer fetus
what
stew.
You're supposed to do is make a stew and everybody goes, yummy.
And then you tell them
that's
after.
A deer fetus, bitch. It's just the same thing as what you just did.
Yeah, that's
right?
True.
A version of that.
Oh, that's like when people that like to trick vegetarians. Ha, that's real meat. Or when or the opposite.
Or vegans
when
do it a lot.
When someone tricks like somebody's
So did you
dad.
like those tacos?
That's actually worse. When someone tricks somebody's like meat and potatoes dad and be like, did you enjoy that burger? Yeah, it was pretty good. It was tofu.
You fucking idiot. Yeah, my wife does that with our kids.
She'll be like, just as rude as
did you like those tacos? And it's like, yeah.
That's just as like, rude as making
lentils, bitch.
Gross.
It was filled with lentils, motherfucker, is what she says.
That's just as That's just as awful as making a vegetarian eat meat. I think it's just as rude.
Yeah,
and they always think it's hilarious and like, see, I proved you wrong.
See, I told you. Like, it's still not as good. It's still not as good. It's just not as good. That's all. It's not terrible. It's just not as good.
It's not as good.
That's the thing. That's what it is. It's not as good. It doesn't taste very good.
Some people don't. Let's just get over it. Maybe that's what we're gonna have out of all of this is people are gonna stop being So fucking sensitive, maybe.
All right, let's check out the dashboard.
Can you scratch the bottom of this? I can't anymore because I don't have my nails. I had to take my nails off.
Because of COVID?
Because they were they were too long.
Whenever somebody says they had to do something now, I just think it's COVID. I had to sell my house.
No, the fucking
because of COVID. No, I'm just
came to my door and told me to cut my nails off.
So I'm going to jail because of COVID. No, I did something horrible to my dad.
Yeah, you got to scratch us. I can't.
Okay, so coronavirus dashboard. That's where I've been going. I don't know if it's just a guy named Bill in his basement that's making up numbers.
It's probably a Bill in his basement, but he probably works for the government and he's working from home.
All right, here we go. Well, I know he's on Twitter. 423,000. That's how many people have it now.
Oh, well, I guarantee you by this time next year, it'll be at 1 million.
The U.S. is on the podium now. They're in third. They got a bronze.
This is the new Olympics because the Olympics got postponed till next year. So this is our medal standing now.
China's not going to be winning for long. They cheated. I think
They started early.
They cheated. They did start early.
They got a head start on the rest of us.
Yeah, they got 81,000, but they've been just chilling tight at 81,000. Italy is up big time. I don't know what's going on there. They're at 70,000 people in Italy.
And how many people live in Italy?
I don't know. It's little, isn't it? I don't know. That's the real Italy. I forgot. I thought they were all little.
What's the population of Italy?
Why are they little and China's a town? What is it?
Italy is 60,317,546.
So now they're in this 6.2.
So wait a minute. So they've got 60 million people there, right?
Well, yeah, 60.2 million. It says 60.3 on here, but I don't think that's accurate anymore.
Okay, so let's do 60 million divided by 60 million divided by 70,000. 60
We're doing a lot of math on this one.
Million divided by 70,000. So 1 in every 857 people
is dying.
Has it in Italy.
Oh, I thought you meant 70,000 people died.
So now try that. Okay, try that on me.
I can't remember the first number ever.
Where you say, hey, if 60 million people live in Italy and 70,000 people have the coronavirus, how many even is that? And then I go, I don't know. And then you give me the answer and just fucking the podcast is over.
Hey, you got to scratch that,
No, I'm just joking. Okay, let's scratch it.
Okay. I'm not going to remember these numbers.
So why did you buy this one?
Because the universe provided for me.
The universe gave you an EMT. That's what's great about being Kathleen. You know how many people have offered me money since this happened?
None?
0.
What?
Nobody has. But you've gotten fucking everybody's throwing money at you like you're in a 1990s money tunnel at the mall. You ever been in a money tunnel?
Cash. No, I've always wanted to be in a money tunnel.
It's fucking great.
You've been in a money
tunnel? I did one, but it hurt because it was coins.
What? You're kidding me.
I'm just joking. But I've been in a...
I literally believe that like an asshole.
You're in a money tunnel, but it's all toonies and loonies.
Oh my God.
Close your eyes. Put the goggles.
Ticket. Put the goggles on.
What the fuck?
He said it was a winner and he lied.
Yeah. Holy shit. We won nothing. And this might even be our last in-person podcast.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out some sort of way so people don't get mad at us. We should. It's not responsible, but whatever. When have I ever been responsible? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not.
Yeah, how do you do? You can. I don't know. We'll figure.
We could do
like
a FaceTime, like a Instagram story
or
thing.
Or we could just not do it anymore. These are our 2 options.
It's too much. This is my only fun part of my week now.
That's true, unless I have an online comedy show. That's going to be terrible. It's going to be awful.
When is it? And
I'll tell you about it. You watch it.
You actually have something to promote.
No, I think it's like a private. It's a private corporate event.
What?
Yeah.
For like workers, or like you can't go home, but here's Sean LeComber.
I know. It's bizarre.
Someone's having an office
party?
It's
probably going to be like a conference where everybody's at home. Like, okay, normally we have a conference, but now we can't do a conference.
I hope this is not the new normal because I don't want it to be the new normal.
Oh, God.
So only the bad comics are going to succeed because they're not used to getting laughs, so it won't matter.
Bingo. And that's when I'll be ready to pounce. All I needed was the great equalizer. I needed good comedians to wonder whether or not they should, so that I could go and ha. I'll fucking take your legs out with an axe. I'll exhume your body and make a stew out of it.
That's the best part. She took it to the potluck and no one ate it. And that is like the worst thing to happen to a woman. To bring something to a potluck and nobody even touches it. Yeah. You've lost your womanship.
Because there's no denying that.
Because even if just a few people eat it, at least some people, but if
like when a woman is walking out of a party with a crock pot and you know it's weighty.
Yeah. If a woman's walking out with an empty clean dish, she's
like, oh, she's got it tipped.
I just won this party.
Oh shit. Look at this. Check it out. Some fucking predator licked it clean. Oh, how much stew do you have left, Susie? Somebody licked my crock pot clean.
That crock pot looks a little heavy, Susie.
Yeah. Oh no, you're still on the original line.
No one wanted your Swedish meatballs.
Oh, those are gross. Nobody eats those anymore. Bye. How long did it take you to cook those? I got this done in a half an hour, and they licked the fucking thing clean. While it was still plugged in, it had to be hot on their tongue.
You should have never have let it cool. That's why no one wanted it.
But yeah, there's no denying that. Man or woman, doesn't have to be a gender thing. If you're a human, but it is. But yeah,
guys are like, I brought Timbits.
Here, eat it. Hey, how come there's still Timbits left over?
You're open the package to this pie.
There's no guy crying in a truck like, what's wrong, Rick? Like, well, I brought Timbits to the party.
No one ate them,
and nobody ate the cakey ones. But those are my favorite.
It was just filled with Dutchies, even though Dutchies don't exist anymore.
They're gross. What are Dutchies?
They're like the glazed donut, but they have raisins in them, and they're disgusting.
Oh,
yeah, they were.
Fuck.
Yeah, look at you know how long Dutchies? This was always
the
order.
You don't put a raisin
Can I please
in
have 20 Timbits and no Dutchies? Absolutely.
No Dutchies.
But then you meet someone that actually likes Dutchies, and you got to pretend like,
they're not
you're
psychotic.
Not a crazy person.
Yeah.
I think Adam likes Dutchies.
It's like if somebody says, I think Trump responded really swiftly to the coronavirus.
Oh,
You're like, I don't know if we should keep speaking.
Yeah. You know what else? We got to go soon because poor
Poor Jim
you know what else
is
going to happen?
Crying. He hates this so much he's crying.
I'm excited about this thing. The fact that Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, the cancer culture has caught up with the...
Cancer culture?
Cancel.
I don't like this cancer culture. It's like somebody gets diagnosed and then they die. Give them a fucking chance.
Oh my God.
I don't like what cancer,
oh my God.
All these PC scientists out there telling me I got 6 months to live. Fuck you. You've got 30 seconds to live. And unless you beat it. No. So how did cancel culture catch up to them?
Because that phone call a long time ago with Taylor Swift that they released and said, oh no, she told us, like, they released the full 28-minute videotape and it was clearly edited, and like it's very clear that she said, please don't call me that, and like they never told her what they were really doing. And he literally says the line that he wanted to use was, I think Taylor Swift owes me sex, which is actually really fucking disgusting to think that that was the line that he wanted to use before I made that bitch famous or something. Oh no, then he says, anyway, I'm too old to be this into this, but I'm so fucking into it because I cannot stand Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. I want them to lose $10 million in all of this. I don't care.
Really? That's irrational.
That's nothing for them. I'm sure they have tons of money. But it's so sad because he's basically begging Taylor Swift on the phone call, will you promote this song on your Twitter? Like, Taylor Swift's going to promote Kanye West. Like, that's sad.
I don't know.
He's a sad human being.
I think Kanye with coronavirus, that'd be a good album.
Kanye with corona?
Kanye, like, seclude. You should quarantine in a studio, man.
And see what comes out.
Yeah, you're a genius, bro.
I follow a country singer that's quarantined in his studio. Literally,
the quarantine cowboy.
I only follow him because he's cute. I haven't heard any of his music. I wonder how many people do that for me.
Nobody. But no, there. But no, the quarantine cowboy, is he? What's his deal? What kind of songs is he chirping
I don't know.
about?
I don't listen to them. I just look at his face.
Is there any more soulless a genre than country? I mean, there's nothing to it. It's the whitest.
It's white like, bread, yeah.
We didn't steal it from black people. That's how you know it sucks. You know what I mean? Like
you gotta write that down and do that when we're out, because that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so true.
Well, we might as well wrap it up there because we've been talking forever, and then we'll do like a fucking dumber podcast later where we're not even in the same room.
Where it sounds like we're in a can.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for being on my
podcast.
See you later.